Hey everyone, and welcome back to Better You, where we're not perfect, but we're getting better every day. If the thought of a job interview gives you butterfly, you're absolutely not alone. It's a high stakes moment where you need to shine, and honestly, it can feel overwhelming. But here on Better You, we will dive deep into everything you need to know to not just prepare, but to truly ace your next job interview. We will cover the essential groundwork, break down how to answer those classic questions with winning phrases. We're gonna discuss tricky topics like salary and weaknesses, and crucially, highlight common mistakes to avoid. In this episode, you'll find some useful strategies that will boost your confidence and help you land that offer. Let's get started. Section 1, preparing for the interview. That's your solid foundation. Think of interview preparation like building a strong house. You need a solid foundation before you even start decorating. The more prepared you are, the more confident and relaxed you will feel. So, deep dive into company research. Go beyond their About Us page. Explore their careers section. Look for recent news, press releases, and even their social media like LinkedIn, X, or Instagram. Are they expanding? Did they launch a new product? Knowing this will allow you to tailor your answers and will show genuine interest. For example, I was really impressed by your recent expansion into renewable energy and how it aligns with your commitment to sustainability. Also, try to find employees on LinkedIn, see their backgrounds, how long they've been there, and this will give you a feel for employee retention and typical career paths. Also, it would be useful to analyze the job description. Don't just skim it. Print it out and highlight keywords and required skills. For every bullet point, think, how can my experience or skills speak to this? If it mentions strong communication skills, you need to immediately think of an example where you demonstrated that. If it's about problem solving under pressure, have a story ready for that. It's also important to anticipate and practice answers. That's a golden rule. You know, the common questions will come up. Don't memorize word for word, but practice your answers out loud. This makes them sound natural, not rehearsed. You can also record yourself if you can. You will catch nervous habits or areas where your answers aren't clear. It's also important to check logistics, so no surprises. For in-person interviews, map your route with traffic in mind. And for virtual interviews, set up your space. Ensure good lighting, like face the window, a clean, neutral background, and test your mic and camera. Silence notifications and tell your family members that you need uninterrupted time. It's crucial to prepare thoughtful questions to ask them. So this isn't just to get information, it's to show your engagement and critical thinking. So you need to prepare 2 to 3 genuine questions ready and avoid questions that you can find easily on their website. So good examples could be, what does a typical day look like for someone in this role? Or what are the biggest challenges facing this department? Or how does the company support professional development and growth? Now, Section 2, answering common interview questions. Let's equip you with simple, powerful phrases to tackle them. So, for example, the question, tell me about yourself. This isn't your life story, it's your professional snapshot. So a sample answer could be, I am a marketing professional with 5 years of experience in digital campaigns. In my previous role at ABC Solutions, I managed a portfolio of clients, successfully increasing their online engagement by an average of 25%. I'm now looking to leverage my expertise in analytics to contribute to a forward-thinking company like yours. So remember, keep it concise, like 30 seconds to 60 seconds, and highlight relevant experience, and always end by linking it back to why you're a good fit for the position and for the company. When you're asked about your education and qualifications, remember to connect your learning directly to the job. For example, you can say, I hold a bachelor's degree in business administration from London University. During my studies, I gained strong analytical and strategic planning skills and completed a successful project on market entry strategies for the Saudi market, which I believe is directly relevant to the market analysis responsibilities in this position. And if your education isn't directly related, you can focus on transferable skills like research, critical thinking, teamwork that you developed. Now, how can you answer a question about your experience? The best way is to use the STAR method. STAR: situation, task, action, and result. For example, you can say, in my previous role as a senior accountant, now you tell the story or the situation. We faced a challenge with a new accounting software implementation that was causing significant delays. Okay, now think of the task. My responsibility was to identify the root cause and streamline the process. Now you need to mention the action. So I collaborated with the IT department, documented user feedback, and developed a step-by-step training module for the team. Now, finally, the result. This resulted in a 30% reduction in closing time and significantly improved data accuracy. So always focus on your actions and the impact that you made. Try to quantify results whenever possible. For example, you can say reduced costs by 10%, improved customer satisfaction by 20%. Now, how can we answer? What are your strengths? You need to choose 2 or 3 strengths that are relevant to the job and back them up with a brief example. For example, you can say, one of my greatest strengths is my problem-solving ability. For example, in my last role, when faced with an unexpected technical issue that halted production, I quickly analyzed the situation, identified the faulty component, and collaborated with the engineering team to implement a temporary fix, minimizing downtime. Now, how can you answer a question about your weak points or your weaknesses? You need to choose a minor weakness that you're actively working to improve, or one that can be even considered or seen as a strength. For example, you can say, one area I've been actively working on is delegating tasks effectively. In the past, I tended to take on too much myself, wanting to ensure that everything was perfect. However, I've since learned the importance of trusting my team members and distributing workload. And I am seeing significant improvements in overall team efficiency and my own capacity to focus on strategic tasks. Now let's look at the common question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? So here you need to show a lot of ambition, but realistic ambition that aligns with the company's growth. For example, you can say, in 5 years, I envision myself as a highly competent and valuable contributor to a dynamic company like yours. Ideally, in a role where I can take on more strategic responsibilities and continue to develop my expertise in this field. My goal is to grow professionally, lead impactful projects, and make a significant contribution to the company's long-term success. Here is another tricky question. What are your salary expectations? This can be very tricky, so you need to do your research beforehand. You can say, based on my research into similar roles and considering my experience and qualifications, I am looking for a salary in the range of, and then you give your expected range. Remember here that you should avoid giving a single fixed number unless you're very confident. Arrange shows flexibility and never undersell yourself. You should also expect a question about your personality, like tell me about your personality. So here, show, don't just tell. Use adjectives but back them up with brief examples. And show how it benefits your work. For example, you can say, I'm a proactive individual who's always looking for ways to improve processes. Or you can say, I am a calm and composed person, particularly under pressure, which helps me navigate challenging situations effectively. Now, section 3 is about common mistakes to avoid. So knowing what not to do is just as important as knowing what to do. So try to avoid these common pitfalls. Number 1, lateness or technical glitches. Being late, even by a minute, signals either disinterest or disorganization. It shows a lack of respect for the interview's time. For virtual calls, don't wait until the last second to check your tech. Ensure your internet, camera and microphone are working perfectly well in advance. The second mistake to avoid is lack of research. If you ask a question whose answer is readily available on their homepage, or if you don't know what the company's main product is, it tells the interviewer that you haven't taken the interview seriously. This can be a major red flag. Also, negative talk about past employers is a big no-no. Never ever badmouth a former boss, colleague, or company, no matter how challenging the experience was. It makes you sound negative, difficult to work with, and it signals to the interviewer that you might do the same about them in the future. Focus on what you learned or how you grew from the experience instead. Also, try to avoid generic answers. Don't ramble without a clear point. Get to the core of your answer quickly and concisely. Avoid vague, unbacked statements like, I am a hard worker. Instead, provide specific examples that demonstrate your skills and work ethic. And also, not asking questions is something to avoid. This is a big red flag. It implies that you're not engaged, you're not curious, or truly interested in the role or the company culture. Also, another big mistake to avoid is poor body language, either in person or virtual. For example, slouching, avoiding eye contact, constantly fidgeting, or looking off camera during virtual calls. These all convey disinterest, nervousness, or lack of confidence, or even dishonesty. Sit up straight, make appropriate eye contact, and use open gestures to show engagement. And also avoid over-focusing on salary or benefits too early. While compensation is important, don't lead the conversation with what's the salary. Focus on your value to the company and how you fit the role first. This discussion usually comes later in the interview process, or the interviewer will bring it up when appropriate. Also, remember to avoid lying or exaggerating. Always be honest about your skills and experience. Interviewers are skilled at detecting inconsistencies, and if a lie is uncovered, it can instantly damage your reputation and chances of employment. And last but not least, don't forget to send a thank you note. This is a must. A personalized thank you email sent within 24 hours of the interview shows professionalism, reiterates your interest, will also allow you to briefly add any crucial points you might have forgotten during the interview itself. A job interview is your chance to shine, to tell your story, and to show your prospective employer why you're the perfect fit. By following these steps and by avoiding common mistakes, you'll significantly increase your chances of not just getting through the interview, but actually acing it. Thank you so much for joining me on Better You. If this video gave you the confidence, skills and knowledge to ace an interview, please hit that like button, share it with somebody who might benefit, and subscribe for more tips on becoming a better version of yourself every single day.